start. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration, and it was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged, and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. Right? Those are the famous words. And then, of course, we're going to get shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. Those are the famous words that in your handout I make too much hay about being Linus's lines, right? These are the ones in the Charlie Brown Christmas that come in to save the day when the whole Peanuts gallery is in internal war with one another. Linus shines these out, and it pacifies everybody because it shows them what's central. And so we would be remiss not to start here, right? And yet, as with last week, and we'll stay here longer, don't worry, but as with last week, we'll start here, and then we'll scan around and see what has prepared us for this in chapter 1. For now, let's just take a look at the things that Luke does, that in the framework of your handout, things that Luke does to make the world bigger in this story, to make it not a parochial sort of Palestinian village story, but a world story. And so we open in 2:1 with the famous, most powerful person in the world of the time, the Emperor Augustus, right? The Emperor Augustus giving a decree that not just Palestine, but that all the world should be registered, right? The whole Roman world should be registered. I gave you in the handout a map of how wide the Roman Empire spreads at this time. It's a fairly large expanse in acreage, and it's a large number of people. The world is made a part of the story in the very first verse of chapter 2. I want you to flip with me, just by way of expanding that theme, flip with me to the first verse of chapter 3. Right? And this is the one you don't want to get if it's time to read in church. There are a lot of names in it, right? We only had Quirinius, and I can't tell you how many times I've been asked by parishioners, how do you say this Quirinius guy's name? But it gets harder in chapter 3. In the 15th year of the reign of the Emperor Tiberius, when Pontius Pilate was governor of Judea, and Herod was ruler of Galilee, and his brother Philip, ruler of the region of Iturea and Trachonitis, and Lysanias, ruler of Abilene, during the high priesthood of Annas and Caiaphas, the word of God came to John, son of Zechariah, in the wilderness. Now, I want you to feel that as you hear it, because I think it's going on in chapter 2 also, but he doesn't use as many column inches on it, right? In chapter 2, you get the decree of Caesar Augustus that all the world needs to be registered, which is a census that allows them to tax properly and do other things, right? In chapter 3, you get these multitudinous names of really powerful people in Rome and in the region, right? All the people, and this goes back to my opening, all the people who should be central casting for receiving God's presence, right? Receiving something from God. These are the status people, these are the power people, these are the great people of the world at the time. And the word of God comes to, drum roll please, John, this kind of poorly dressed prophet in the wilderness, right? And that seems to be a theme for Luke, not just the lowliness of his characters, but the reach of this story. We would be remiss not to realize that Luke is the first of a 2-volume set. And so we're going to get this story of shepherds in a field, and we're going to get this story of not having enough room in the family gathering, so they have to sleep on the floor with the animals and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a small focus here, but it's always within a large focus that eventually will end with Paul in Rome under house arrest at the end of the book of Acts. In other words, this is going to be a worldwide thing that gets born in Bethlehem. Right? Luke takes pains to give us little hints at that, so we should notice them.